Welcome back everybody, Baotao here to bring you some news of this week, and without wasting any time, let's jump right into the first news. Let's start with an international news that happened on 10th of February, where a pair of old married couple was tragically involved in a car accident that happened in Shanghai, China. From the dashcam footage, you can see the married couple try to cross the road between cars along the intersections, and very unfortunately, they were crashed into by a car who was speeding extremely fast trying to cross the light. The couple was then seen almost doing a 720-degree turn in the air before dropping onto the floor. The 70-year-old wife unfortunately could not survive the crash and passed away, while the 68-year-old husband ended up in severe injuries but not in a life-threatening situation. That is just truly tragic, and I don't really know what to say. To be honest, I don't think we can fully blame the driver for hitting the couple, as he was just trying to cross the green light, even though he indeed was driving a little bit too fast. And to be honest, the couple was also crossing the road a bit dangerously. I believe if they had waited a little bit longer, they could have avoided the collision at all. But it's too late to say so since it's already happened. So I hope the husband can get full recovery as soon as possible. And for others, please take this video as an example so you won't repeat the same mistakes from this scene. Coming back to local news, on 9th of March, a crash happened between a motorcycle and a travel bus happened in Lukut, Negeri Sembilan. The motorcyclist immediately passes out after the crash, and the bus had already drove away from the scene. Luckily, the people who were on the scene tried their best to help the motorcyclist. For example, a woman was seen putting an umbrella on the victim so the victim can have a shade to be under since the weather is so sunny. As the police came and investigate, the motorcyclist had suffered severe head injuries and he was bleeding a lot, thus causing him to pass out. The authorities quickly sent the motorcyclist to the nearest hospital and now he is receiving medical treatments. I really hate this kind of irresponsible driver who literally crashed into someone but drive away, scaring to take the responsibility for it. Like, you literally just did something wrong and all you want to do is just run away? As if that is going to help you solving the problem. I really hate that. Come on man, just act more like an adult, can you? In the late afternoon of 9th of March, a crazy scene was seen in Banting, Selangor as a truck was seen driving backwards furiously before crashing into a petrol station on the narrow road. Without any context to the scene, I believe everyone would just keep on scratching their head, wondering what is really going on. Same goes to me too when I first saw the clip. Turns out, the truck driver was trying to flee away from the scene after he got involved in a car accident with a motorcycle. So that's why he was so frantically trying to back away from the scene. Thankfully, God is on our side this time as the truck driver accidentally crashed into a petrol station stand just beside the road, leading to him being caught by the witnesses of the scene. This news is so similar to the last news where it's about two drivers who try to drive away after causing accidents, but thank God the driver is caught in this news. The driver was then served with justice by the witnesses and he is then surely taken to the police. I really hope this kind of irresponsible driver can just vanish and make everyone feel more safe on the road, and less of these accidents ending with one side not taking any responsibility. So hopefully there will be less of this in the future. Following up, a case of drivers not respecting the road police where a Perodua Alza was seen trying to escape from a normal inspection by the PDRM unit members at Bangi, Selangor. As you can see from the footage, the PDRM were trying to stop the car from fleeing away. One of them even climbed onto the car. And for some reason, the car just kept on going, and you can see that it didn't care if the PDRM members were kicking or punching its car. Even when the people in the scene tried to catch the car, they still couldn't catch the car and the car successfully flew away. I have no idea what the car is hiding from the PDRM, but it has to be either drugs or the actual painting of Mona Lisa. Or else, why would he flee away like this from normal inspection? Unfortunately, we don't have any further information about the incident, but I hope the Alza was successfully caught by the police afterwards, or else we won't know what is really hidden inside the car. Next up is a real gangster story, and it is about a number of high school students who were seen in motorcycles going around the town with offensive drawings on their back and without wearing any helmets. The scene was happening on Kota Baru, Kelantan, and was caught by JPJ, who uploaded the picture to their Facebook page and said that there are so many things in the picture that can prove the students were breaking road laws. For example, driving around without helmet, their number plates are not following the standard specification the government had already set, and much more. Personally, the one that caught my eyes are the inappropriate drawings they had on their back. I get they are trying to offend their teachers, but it's just not cool at all, man. The writing's not even good. But either way, their behavior is certainly not appropriate, and I hope they get the punishment they deserve afterwards. Lastly, it's another news involving alcohol, where a drunk beauty specialist lady was driving in a drunken state where she uncontrollably crashed into a roadblock at Petaling Jaya, Selangor. The woman was believed to be in a drunken state and crashed into a roadblock on the exit of Damansara Toll Plaza. Luckily, no one was injured in the accident other than the roadblock equipment, which were damaged from the crash impact. We don't really get any other information about this incident, but seriously, this kind of drivers are getting more and more common nowadays. Almost every episode we made so far always going to involve a drunk driver. Can we just stop having this kind of problem? Well, all I can do is just wish and pray, and hopefully this problem could be a past problem in the near future. Now let's move on to the next segment, where we will be looking at the history that happened on this date. The history on this day. On this day in 1947, the first ever Ferrari, a Tipo 125 Spider Corsa, was completed on this day. The 125's debut on the Piazzetta circuit was, in the words of Enzo Ferrari himself, a promising failure, as the car did have some problems while leading the race. However, over the following 4 months, the 125S was back on the track 13 times, winning 6 of its races, which made Enzo Ferrari's prediction to be true. On this day in 1964, the first production of Lamborghini, the 350 GT, debuted at the Genova Motor Show as a statement of Lamborghini's intent to be a true player in the sports car market. The vehicle featured a 4-cam V12, a fully synchronized 5-speed transmission, limited slip differential, 4-wheel independent suspension, and a 4-wheel disc brakes, which was very innovative at its time. The coincidence of both these two major sports car companies to produce their first ever car at the same day is pretty wild. Even though Lamborghini was 23 years later than Ferrari, it is still pretty cool. And that's it for the history for today. Now, let's have a look at the oil price for this week. Alright, thank you guys for watching this episode of driNEWS. Hopefully you guys learned a thing or two from this episode. I'm Bao Tao, and I'll see you next week.